Yeah. Look, man, quick video. This one ain't even gonna be long, man. Maybe even 7 minutes or less. Was listening to 92.3 The Fan last night, sometime within the last day. They put up this older clip of Deshaun Watson feeling job security, even though, we as fans feel like he ain't did nothing that really had job security. And I'm sorry, I don't even remember these two dudes' names, but 92.3 The Fan, afternoon drive, weekdays from 2 to 7. That's them two. I don't know their names yet. But listen to this, because Ashley Bastock asked them a question. We know we respect her in the media game. I'm surprised there was no better follow-ups, but we just gonna go in there and get into this. I ain't gonna hold, like I said, I ain't gonna hold y'all long. We're gonna play this part, then I'm gonna play the whole thing because they get greasy on here. Do start getting greasy. They start getting greasy. Even though I don't deserve it, you did it. Shout out to God, man, for the stream one time. Even though I didn't earn it, you give it. Who am I that you keep me on your mind? God, I'm just great. That one go hard.
To my co-host for the day, Nick Padone, dug this up from back at OTAs when Deshaun Watson spoke with Ashley Bastock asking the question.
Listen to this.
About where he was in his career and his confidence to get back out on the field.
You said that you didn't have any doubts in your mind that you worried about never playing again, but I guess were there any doubts about if you would get another chance in Cleveland to be the starting quarterback?
No.
Was there any doubts?
From internal conversations.
No.
So that certainly makes it seem like
Was
there were some internal conversations.
If you would get another chance in Cleveland to be the starting quarterback?
No. And that's just from internal conversations.
So that certainly makes it seem like there were some internal conversations that might have played into what we're talking about right now.
I don't think that piece of sound got enough run when Deshaun Watson said it.
Why are we saying that it's quarterback competitions and all these other things if there's been internal conversations? Coming off of a guy with an Achilles, coming off of another 2-year layoff, playing the quarterback position. I don't know what to expect from the Browns, man. It's all he say, she say. Until I talk to Monk and I can't trip, I guess. I don't know if I'm gonna ever be able to talk to Monk, but I don't like how this feel. I feel a little duped. Because that's how Deshaun Watson has been carrying it. Like, this is comebacks. Like, he know he got the opportunity. Like, it should be fighting for his life. He is fighting for his NFL career life. All on the field. I ain't talking off the field stuff. This is like one of his last opportunities. I'm going to run this from the beginning, man. I might put a spaces on the end of it. It's crazy.
I guess we can start with the conversation of the day in my more paranoid state. I want to, and I say this because I'm trying to trust in Todd here. Okay, you know me. I'm a big trust in Todd guy.
We're putting it on a t-shirt.
When people think about Nick Wilson, they think about trust in Todd. I had to switch to my other hand for that last T there. That's what people think about when they think about me. But I also understand that the other parts of this Browns organization, Jimmy Haslam and Andrew Berry, do things that sometimes make this feel like a think tank and less about a winning football team. Now that I've done that entire belabored point, Deshaun has had 2 good practices in 8 games. What in the hell are we doing? Seriously. Like, I get it. He's the $35 million man or whatever he's making has already made this year. I understand that you might want to leverage Deshaun to make sure that Shador is on point in this quarterback every single way. I get it. But the Kool-Aid drinking on Deshaun Watson in this town is absolutely insane. And it's not the fans, guys. I got to call my media brethren out on this. It is insane. Let's just say the truth here. Shador has looked like the better quarterback. Whether he looked great or not, he has looked like the better quarterback in 80% of the practices that we've all been able to see. And so am I happy that Deshaun is here and actually putting up a fight after completely laying down on the mat for the first 6 or 7 practices? 6, 7. Yes, I am. But this idea that the tide has turned. Guys, Shedeur was the better quarterback yesterday. So 2 days ago, Deshaun was the best quarterback, and it wasn't close, and it came against the ones, and that should have some meaning. But the push that has happened in 2 days, when yesterday, again, Deshaun looked good enough, Shedeur still looked like the better quarterback. And I'm just watching this happen in real time, and it's like, we don't all have to just say whatever the Browns want us to say, right?
But that's what's happening.
We have free will. We've got the ability to say what we actually think instead of what somebody over there wants us to say and think.
That's where we're at, though. That's where we're at. Like, I definitely think this new Deshaun Watson push that we've felt over these last 48 hours, we know where it's coming from. They're priming us. They're getting us ready. They're acclimating us. It's like the science experiment. If you put a frog in water and then boil the water slowly over time, the frog won't jump out of the water. Whereas if the water's already boiling and you put the frog in, it'll jump right out. We're the frog in the water right now, and the water is starting to fizz.
I want to say that I want to leave open.
I'm happy I played this. I did not like that analogy. Cleveland is not that stupid. We know when the temperature change. We know about temperature change in Cleveland. I didn't like that analogy, bro. I'm not even going to go all the way in. I ain't like that.
There's some room here where the Browns continue to say Deshaun to push, or whether it's just to guide Shedeur where they want him to be. And if that's happening, to me, that's Todd Monken. But I also have to leave open the door here that this whole thing, the last, 3 months has been a rig, right? It's been a whole thing. Because when I hear, again, 2 palpably good practices, meaning every other one was unplayable, but 2 good enough practices that Deshaun Watson has somehow reclaimed his spot as a front runner when it's not as if Shedeur himself has gone into the tank like Deshaun was for, again, 80% of the practices, 90% of the practices we've watched. It makes me open up this other door. And that other door is very tinfoil hat. I get it. But I'm starting to wonder, did the Browns broker an agreement with Deshaun Watson? Hey, Deshaun, we love you so much. We know this contract hasn't gone. Maybe a mea culpa for Jimmy Haslam saying, hey, this thing didn't work out. Or for whatever reason. Maybe it's about David Mulligata. Maybe it's about doing a solid for an agent, because I know the Browns like to do those things. Did the Browns broker an agreement at some point this offseason with Deshaun Watson to let Deshaun start the first few weeks? Because after watching the way the media has turned all of this, and the Browns themselves have turned all this in the last 2 days, all of a sudden that doesn't feel as crazy conspiracy theory as maybe it would have been if I had floated it 2 days ago.
Absolutely it hasn't, because these last 2 days, we've watched some in the national media admit to confirmation bias, that they believed, based on what they heard, it is reporting, based on what they heard going into the spring, that Watson was the front runner. Now that he's had 2 good practices of 10, like you said, 20% of the practices have been good, it's confirming what the Browns wanted to see from Deshaun going into this competition. It's been my fear this entire time. I don't want to see Deshaun start. I don't understand what the Browns gain from it, but I definitely have my tinfoil hat on too, Nick. It's impossible not to with this organization anymore, because what they say and what they do most of the time are completely different.
216-474-0092. At Nick Wilson says, at Nick Padone 12 on Twitter. Of course, social media reactions are at Jewelers, Cleveland's premier jewelry store. We got my ball talk, NFL writer, Cleveland's very own, coming up at 2:40 today. Quick hits at 3:40. We've got Dave Biddle, editor of Bucknot on Money on 97.1 The Fan in Columbus at 4:40. Little Ohio State preview coming your way in the lead at 5. I will be out. The show will be done today at 6 because of the Lake Erie Crushers night. I'll be out a little bit before that. But Wilson says, at Nick Padone 12. Did the Browns broker an agreement to let Deshaun start the first few weeks of this season? Because the more this kind of nonsensical push continues, and we've got some compelling evidence here, it's starting to feel like maybe this isn't the one-for-one the Browns have talked about. So it might seem conspiracy theory when I ask, did the Browns broker an agreement to let Deshaun Watson start? Padone dug this up from back at OTAs when Deshaun Watson spoke with Ashley Bastock asking the question about where he was in his career and his confidence that he'd get back out on the field.
You said that you didn't have any doubts in your mind that worried about never playing again, but I guess were there any doubts about if you would get another chance in Cleveland to be the starting quarterback?
No, and that's just from internal conversations.
So that certainly makes it seem like there were some internal conversations that might have played into what we're talking about right now.
I don't think that piece of sound got enough run when Deshaun Watson said it, because it was a moment I was standing out there and you could hear the rain. The rain started falling down in Berea when Watson was in the tent there. It was one of those moments where he said it in the press conference setting, Nick, and everybody that was standing there kind of like looked at each other a little bit. Like, did he really just say that he never doubted that he would have an opportunity to play for the Browns again based off internal conversations that he had? Now, obviously, the dream follow-up could have been, well, what did those internal conversations consist of? And he certainly would have found a way to dance around that. But
Probably would have said something like words.
But it is definitely weird that Deshaun Watson floated out loud that he had some sort of internal conversation with somebody that led him to believe that there would be an opportunity for him to start for this football team at some point again. And that was said all the way back in June.
Now, it could very easily have been them assuring Deshaun, you're going to have a chance to compete for this job. And again, like I would say, I'm not going to allege they're doing anything here. I'm simply asking the question because as much as I want to believe in the era of the coaches get to see things you don't get to see, and that is a fair thing. They're in meetings that we're not in. At the same point, I've seen for the last 5 years this regime minus Todd Monken use pretty lame narratives as a reason to do whatever the hell they want and then fall flat on their face. Like specific to last year when Dylan Gabriel looked absolutely lost in camp and they kept telling everyone how far ahead of everyone else he was and what a great job he's doing. And then when they gifted him the job in week 5, right? And then he mistrust of Andrew Berry and James. And my hope is that Todd Monken is who I think he is, which is a no-nonsense football guy that knows, hey, if I rig this thing for one quarterback, no matter who it is, I'm going to be sabotaging myself in the locker room. Kevin doesn't have the power to make these decisions. I think it's fair to then look at this and go, all right, are similar games being played with Todd Monken? I trust in Todd, but that trust is not unilateral.
So I know you trust in Todd. Is your trust in Todd going to be fractured if he comes out, say, next week and says Deshaun Watson is the starting quarterback against the Jacksonville Jaguars and we're going to use the rest of camp here in the preseason to get the starting quarterback and ready to go? Because I think that's a very real possibility. Like, I definitely think you and Jonathan both stand to potentially be really disappointed when Todd makes this decision.
So I'm going to do my best to not just do the immediate thing, which is bleep you, you're wrong, this was rigged. I'm going to do my best to do that.
But it's going to be, I will confess, it's going to be hard when we're hearing from the starting quarterback 2 months ago saying that he had some sort of internal conversation that it's going to be hard to not go full tinfoil hat.
Well, it's harder to deny what I've seen with my own eyes and what Jonathan has seen and what fans have seen. And I think that's the frustration. And I always think it's a really cute thing when media guys go, well, like the coach don't know more. No. The field. Any idiot can see what I saw and what anybody else has seen. And more so than that, I am fluent in the ways of team BS after covering this specific Browns organization because they are, and I actually say credit, their narratives that are pro-Browns narratives to the media. And because of the COVID-era restrictions, which every NFL team, not just the Browns, have used to leverage and push out the local media as much as they can and minimize those relationships, they have the kind of authoritarian power over the press that they didn't, or specifically the beat that they didn't 7 years ago. And by the way, it is their prerogative to do so. I'm not alleging any sort of malfeasance here. But at the same point, it's like, I'm not going to trust anyone to that extent. Not in the era of everybody's great, everybody's PR friendly here. No, that trust is earned. And everybody outside of Todd Monken does not have that trust for me. Now, here's the difference, because I think you pose a great point here. My difference when it comes to the trust in Todd thing, if Shador wins the starting job, I will have to have baked in patience with Shador on things like procedural bleeds, on things like turnovers, because he's a young quarterback. And for the first time in his natural born life as a pro, he's receiving adequate coaching. So I'm going to have to sit here and go, hey, Shador didn't play well. All right, did you win, did you lose? Because that'll also impact how we say. But all right, let's give that context. Did we see growth? With Deshaun, if you name Deshaun the starter, week 1, your ass better win. And he better look good. Because if one of those two things doesn't happen, we go right back to the beginning. This guy, why?
Right. Well, and the whole this guy won the job why thing is going to ring true for a number of reasons. The thing that I trust Todd as an organization, they're obsessed with data. They talk about it a ton, more so than any other team. There's so much data, an overwhelming amount of data that says Deshaun Watson's not a good quarterback anymore. Hasn't been a good quarterback since before the global pandemic. There is not much data that says a quarterback in a situation similar to his that has sustained all of this and has missed 2 full NFL seasons will ever return to form was. So how could you have an organ so obsessed with data so obsessed with math when the math here checking out at all. Literally no quarterback just supposed to expect that he is the one mathematical outlier. I have to believe that there are some nerds in that building that just doesn't check out with.
That's nerd on nerd crime because you're one of the biggest nerds I know. But two, that's fine. I'm also a nerd, so that's nerd on nerd crime.
No offense taken out of me.
But
I know
this,
I am.
But this, I don't even need to go back to last year or the year before or the year after. I can off this. It starts to work on his processing time. Right? Processing aren't enough. Well, all of a sudden, the processing skills I'm hearing are lacking in camp have been Deshaun Watson. Oh, that's interesting. Okay. All right. So does that mean Shador doesn't have? No. Now it's cadence. Now it's this. Now it's that. Now it's running the offense. And I'm not here to tell you that is 100% wrong. Shador is a second-year quarterback playing in a pro-style offense, getting adequate coaching at the NFL level for the first time. So I have no doubt that there are some things he needs to work on as a young quarterback. How do you get those done, by the way? I don't know, playing time and practice reps. But I guess my thing is, and this is where it's not about Todd Monken. This is where the trust in Todd can lift above and rise and shine, right? I've heard, procedural. I've heard cadence. I've heard these words to describe situations before. And in the end, it's just incredibly vague that coaches say that it's basically not seeing what I'm seeing on it. And that's where it's like, again, I'm in some ways, I'm not able to trust Todd as fully as I would like to because I've been damaged by organizational BS speak for so many years. I think Todd tells the truth.
But isn't that different organizations telling you the same thing? Because Stefanski and Tom were saying same red flags about Shador when it came to, getting in and out of the huddle. I hated that. I was like, what does that mean? Is he a football imbecile? He had no problem getting in and out of the huddle at Colorado. And we're hearing the same things this offseason about the whiteboard work and the film and the class. The stuff we don't eat last year too, but now asking we're hearing this with two completely different regimes.
Yeah, I think, and again, this is where I want to leave it open to the idea that one coaching staff was they never gave the Kimball as if Shador's a starter week one, there's going to be some patience baked in a developmental year. If Deshaun starts, he's a veteran. I have no patience. 7-10 will be the absolute floor. If you're going to put, whether it's by hook or by crook, whether this is a legitimate quarterback competition win for Deshaun or not, I don't care. I don't have that same tolerance. He's the veteran. He's supposed to be the better player. His ass better be winning as soon as week one.
Twitter be so slow.
Welcome to Real McCoy TV, where faith intertwines with daily life, empowering us to inspire positive change. Our mission is not just to share our story, but to uplift our community and celebrate authentic tales of faith and family. Journey with us and witness Cleveland's vibrant sports scene alongside heartwarming church events and cherished family moments, all showcasing our shared values. New content graces your screens every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Saturday evenings, making it easy to engage with us on this enlightening adventure. We invite you to be part of the Real McCoy experience. Whether you wish to call in, join discussions, or collaborate, your voice matters. Plus, support our mission through Cash App, GoFundMe, or Patreon. Together, we create a thriving community of faith and support where every contribution counts.